Hey guys, this is Jonathan Burke with livebassfishing.com, and today I'm going to talk about the free rig, and I'm going to kind of go over the difference between the free rig and the drop shots. There are some similarities, so they get compared, but it's also a lot like a Texas rig. So first I'm going to rig it for you. You just got your line. Now you want a drop shot weight, but you want one that has that little loop, an open loop. Can you guys see that? You want it to have that open loop, not a crimped loop like a drop shot weight. So what you're going to do is just slide your line on that open loop, and then grab a hook. This is a 2/0 EWG. You can also use a round bend or an offset worm hook. Go ahead and tie your favorite knot. I'm just going to go ahead and tie a Palomar real quick. And the difference between the two, I'm going to explain here real quick as soon as I get this tied on. Now, the soft plastic bait you use for a free rig can be pretty much anything you'd fish on a Texas rig. The bulkier the bait, the more the weight's going to get ahead of the bait, and the slower it's going to fall. The weight's going to fall way faster down the line. But the other day, I was actually using a worm that doesn't have much resistance. It's a robo worm, straight tail robo worm, and it's a desert craw. For some reason, some of the lakes I fish, the desert craw is just the deal. So you're just gonna Texas rig this bait, and you're gonna have this weight that just runs free up the line. Now, what people get into is they're like, why? Well, if unpegged Texas rig does the same thing with a worm weight on it, but the difference is this little loop doesn't have much friction on the line, so it actually flows a lot easier. Thus, the free rig. So the beauty of this rig, or the why I think why it works, is that when you cast out, you're going to open your bail. At least I do. I open my bail and leave it on a 7/2 line while it's falling, and I want that weight to get as far ahead of this bait as it can without having any pendulum. And as soon as it hits the bottom and I see my line go totally limp, I will go ahead and flip my bail over. But when that's falling, it's going down pretty fast. When the weight hits the bottom, this worm will slow down and start to quiver down. So if you've got fish that are tracking that thing and chasing it down, when it stalls out, it's going to slow down, and that fish is going to catch up with that bait real quick, and he's got no choice but to either take it or to pass. Okay, so that's the beauty of the rig, is that it will fall down and quiver down, and once you get it to the bottom and start working it, it's going to go ahead and catch up and fish just like a Texas rig until you come over some cover or drop it again and it gets ahead and flutters. Now, that's the difference between it and the Texas rig, is that free open cylinder weight right there just flows back and forth so much easier up and down the line, especially when you're in deeper water. Now I've got a drop shot tied here so I can show you the difference. The drop shot kind of does a similar thing, right? The weight falls down fast, and then when it hits the bottom, that bait will kind of quiver and hover down. The difference is this one's gonna quiver and hover down free, and then when you go to pull it, it's gonna pull back fast against that line. It's gonna and not going to stay up in that strike zone if the fish are suspended. It's going to be that initial drop when you get those reaction bites, and then when you pull it tight, it's going to take off again like it's being chased. So there's the difference between the two, drop shot and free rig. The free rig, I was worried it was going to get hung up a lot. It actually comes through the cover pretty good. If you'll see my video on my blog where I talked about the free rig and caught a fish on the free rig, it actually, I hung it on a bush, or hung it on a tree, and I was able to pop it off. And when it popped over the side and started falling, that's when I got another hit. It's kind of funny. I thought I got snagged again, but my line started taking off, so I realized I had a fish. Not one of my finer moments of fishing, but Yeah, that's the free rig, guys. So the difference is you want that free weight to get ahead of the fish. Now, another thing I've heard people ask is, why not just use a bass cast sinker? Because they have a really big opening right here, a really big loop, and it will actually slide over your hook and push down onto your bait and crunch your bait up on your hook and get stuck. And you want that thing to be free and falling ahead of the bait. And that's why I don't use those bass sinkers, is because they have too big of an opening and they'll actually go over your hook and foul everything up. So if you have any other questions, feel free to make comments on the blog or any of my social media. I would love to answer them. The free rig is something that I'm just starting to play with, but so far I've had some success with it, and I look forward to fishing it more. If you guys have anything you want to learn or anything you want to talk about, go ahead and hit me up on social media, drop me a message, and I'll be glad to answer. Make it a great day, and bye for now.